Well. Good morning, traders. Happy, is today Tuesday? Today is Tuesday.
No, it's Friday. We can all go down
Oh,
the pub.
man. Well, you know what? It might as well be Thursday for you since you're taking tomorrow off. I mean, come on, Ryan.
I'm taking a couple of hours off, cheeky sod.
You're just, I mean, you know what? Just the world is your oyster, Ryan. The world is your oyster.
That's the way it should be.
Anyway, well, speaking of which, Ryan, I got you here. What the fudgesicle has happened right now with like the Swiss franc? That I don't know if you guys have seen this meltdown we're seeing in the dollar Swiss, but holy cow, did we have? Was there some Swiss data that I missed last night?
No, not that I know of.
Hang
No,
on
we've
this
got a
morning.
bit of a breakdown going on. We've had, bit of risk headlines around Iran stuff and whatever. But yeah, this broke yesterday, and
Yeah,
it's
I mean, look and look at the euro. The euro is absolutely on fire. I want to make sure everybody knows this, and this is something that we were just talking about in the Forex Analytics chat room. So let me just show you guys the chart here. This chart I posted just 5 minutes ago. Here, whoop, not that one. Right here. All right. So this is the euro, and this should give you a pretty clear view. Again, this is in the Forex Analytics chat room, in case you guys haven't seen this. We're approaching the 120 level. The 120 level on the euro is obviously just it's the 120 level. I mean, there's there's no other way to really explain it. It's the big figure. It's 120. Everybody's looking at it. But you can see we have like this trend line resistance that comes in right around there, right? We also have this rising channel resistance, and if you guys if you guys want to really get kind of crazy here, if you look at the harmonic patterns that are setting up with the euro, that top of that channel, which is maybe 120, 120, 50, that's also a butterfly pattern completion level. So it's going to be really questionable what happens when or if the euro trades above 120 or around 120. I'm going to. I know there was just yesterday. I think late in the day there was one of the big banks is like the dollar downside is going to be limited in 2026. In other words, you should be buying the dollar here soon. I don't know if I'm buying that argument. Ryan, how do you feel about this dollar move that we're seeing? I mean, the overnight, and just so you guys know, I want to show you guys something else just really quick. This is the chat room again. I'm going to skip all the way back to when I went to bed last night, and this is all stuff that you guys were talking about in Europe. If you guys are missing all these like conversations that happen all day long, then I'm sorry about that. This is last night. So last night I said, all right, everyone, it's been a crazy day. Prime ministers, precious metals were way off their highs. Might allow for a dollar bounce. I'm going to be looking to establish longs in the euro dollar somewhere overnight at 118.50. That was last night before I signed off. Now I came back in late in Asia, but the overnight low was 118.50. Unfortunately, my orders were about 5 pips and then 15 pips below those levels. So I didn't reload long last night. I would really wanted to. Again, if you guys wanted to know that I wrote that last night at 2:13 p.m. My time, Arizona time, which is like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, East Coast time. That's what I was saying is I was trying to get long last night on a dip, and we got to 118.50. I was hoping we'd dip a little bit further. Ryan, now that you've seen this, and I didn't look at the trades room, so I didn't see if you got long euros on that dip last night. How do you feel about the dollar right now?
Well, it's getting another bashing, isn't it? Pretty much just as you lot come in and come to the table, we're off and running again, seeing dollar weakness. We have had, noises, shall we say, that the BOJ might have done, or the MOF might have done another rate check. We had some Iran explosion headlines as well that might have been tempting risk. But yeah, it's looking like the dollar's taking another whacking. But precious metals aren't really following this time though. They're a bit volatile at the moment. We do have a big option expiry. It's the expiry of Jan futures. I think Jan futures today, 27th. So those could be having a bit of a say in what's going on in the price action in PMs at the moment. It may just have a little bit of a halting effect until we're over that hump. But yeah, the dollar's looking like it's in everyone's bad books again.
Yeah, I mean, and that was a nasty reversal that we saw in silver yesterday. Thank you, Ryan. Kman, what did you make of that silver reversal that we saw yesterday?
I don't know. Reversal. We're still at 112. Huh? I mean,
Right. Well,
it's hugely.
how you
It's
feel about it?
extremely.
How you feel about it at this moment in time is probably different how you felt about it when you were watching it last night, right?
Well, I mean, I've said 100, 100 bucks, 101 bucks. For as long as we are above, I don't see much changing apart from the huge volatility that we had. And thinking about what Ryan just said about those option or those precious metals expiries, we also saw similar in gold. It came back close to 5,000, where the main expiries are supposed to be around, and from there it bounced. So could we see another one today? If today is expiry time, could be, and that may have had to do with yesterday's move. Yeah, as I was updating this morning, yeah, 100 is the magic number in silver, and probably 5,000 in gold right now. And we will see once those expiries are behind us what the move is going to be. Yesterday I thought that okay, we done another 100 bucks in gold. I wouldn't be surprised if we get back to the 50-10 level there, and that's sort of what happened. Silver is just so hugely volatile. Is it for us? It's unless you trade micro lots or so, for the normal retail trader, it's kind of limit border untradeable right now because you can
the
move
range that we
8,
saw,
10
the
bucks.
range we saw yesterday is like a range that you would see in 2 or 3 years in silver.
Yeah, before that, before Trump came on, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but
I mean,
that's exactly it, you know.
it's crazy. Hey, K-Man, how do you feel about this dollar move that we're seeing
I'm
brew right
short.
now?
Yesterday around fixing time, I went long dollars, a few dollars long. I was short euro dollar, I was long dollar yen, and I reversed it this morning, and I went back long Aussie dollar and euro dollar.
Okay, all right. So you're playing this dollar on the short side. It does not look
Yeah.
healthy. I mean, but we're this is one thing that I'm pulling up the dollar index, guys, and I want to show you something. This is really important, and then we're going to shift our discussions over to some of these individual equities that are going to be reporting earnings this week. This is the range that have we've been in since June of last year. And this is a weekly chart. And keep in mind, we are below, as we mentioned yesterday, we are below the 14-year rising trend line. You know, a simple range extension. Shit, I didn't want to do that. Let me back that up. A simple range extension here in the dollar index. If we get below, let's just call it, below 96, right? It's 96 and a quarter, but we get below 96. We're trading down at 92.40, which 92.40 in euro terms would probably be close to 122, 123, somewhere up in this neighborhood. So the dollar is vulnerable, especially if we start trading above 120. Because if we start trading much above 120, that means the the dollar index is in breakdown territory. So, K-Man, just since we were just talking, do you see any reasons for the dollar move other than, people tried to get long and they're finding themselves a very difficult task?
The one of the drivers right now is probably the dollar yen, right? And the yen. I mean, the dollar yen pushing the dollar yen lower, artificially or not, is putting some pressure on other dollars. The other one is still, and the press, the social media are full of it. The debasement trade is still ongoing. It's been quiet for a long time, but then, as I said, end of last week and then yesterday, a bit of a confirmation as well. It seems like a lot of people have been on it. Well, the big money managers have been on it for a long while, and the bucket just overflows, and that's what we're seeing now in as a result in the dollar. For the rest, we still have to be. I say, I'm not going to say cautious because it is a thorough move that we're seeing on the dollar right now, and it doesn't look to start reversing immediately. But just keep those levels in mind. If we start to fail back below 119, or we fail up here in the Aussie dollar or cable also, may not be a one-way street yet. But yeah, it's my bias is still for a bit lower dollar is still unchanged. Maybe yeah, 120 on the euro, but um, I I really I don't see a reason for starting to change much to that bias right now, because the geopolitics, the external policies of the US as well, is still not like I mean, when geopolitics and politics take over from text and data, it's a hard fight to go against it, right?
Yeah, it sure is. Mike asked the question, do you think a hawkish hold from Powell tomorrow can help the US dollar find a floor? I don't think anything
No.
that Powell says tomorrow is going to have any, material impact on the dollar. He's on his way out. He's like a lame duck FOMC chair. So I really don't think that I can't see him changing his tune from saying that we're still, taking in data as it comes, and we're going to be reacting to data. I mean, I don't see any change there. I mean, Ryan, do you think there's going to be any material change from the FOMC, and can they stop this dollar halt, or can they halt this dollar slide? Let's put it that way.
No, I mean, I don't see why they'd need to. I don't expect much from the FOMC. There's no reason to move in a hawkish or dovish direction. So Powell probably do as usual, walking the fine line in the middle. He'll probably face more questions about Cook and everything that's gone on than he would about what's going on in the economy, because obviously that's big news since his statement on what's been going on. So yeah, it's just going to be any news we get from them that indicate maybe something has changed with their view on the economy will be probably what we get the biggest moves around.
All right. I want to turn your guys' attention. I'm going to stay in the FX space for just a little bit longer, but the Canadian, this is really interesting to me. Look at the strength of the Canadian currency right now. And you might say, well, no, this is dollar strength. I don't agree. I actually don't agree with that. If you look at the EuroCAD, for example, look at the EuroCAD, and I'm talking just over the last hour or so, we're starting to see the Canadian really pick up some steam here. And you can see that the dollar CAD over the last couple hours have really dropped. Yesterday, over the weekend, President Trump threatened Canada with 100% tariffs. Now, we all know that's not happening. I mean, that's just not going to happen. It ain't going to happen. I mean, if it did and it went into effect, I would be absolutely shocked. We're all very familiar with the whole taco situation, and he's probably just tweeting more out of emotion over the China-Canadian situation, because Canada's trying to figure out some relationships aside from the U.S. So I mean that, and Trump probably got really upset about that, and he made these comments, and the Canadian didn't move over the weekend. Matter of fact, on yesterday, I mean, we saw the dollar CAD maybe drifted up a little bit because, you know, the dollar had recovered. You know, the euro pulled back from 119 down to 118.50, and the dollar Canadian kind of responded to that. But look at the strength of the Canadian dollar. This is a little shocking. It's not shocking to me as a trader. I think it's probably shocking to people that establish Canadian dollar shorts, you know, over the last 24 hours that are finding themselves wrong-footed. We do have some Canadian data that's coming out this week. We have the BOC, the Bank of Canada decision tomorrow. I'm not really expecting a whole lot out of that, but you know, if you just kind of look at this move, actually, we could probably look at it a couple of different ways, and just in a 4-hour capacity, this right here is an inverse cup and handle pattern, believe it or not, which looks pretty damn bearish. Ryan, you have any comments about the Canadian here?
This bounce that we had since yesterday, obviously now looking very, very weak. If we go on to tap a new low here, then we're probably going to continue on. I've got a bit of a level 136.50, which is a bit of a long time level. But it's in the same boat as everything else. You know, I don't think this is Canada led. You know, Carney dialed back on what he was doing with China, so he folded pretty quickly regarding Trump's remarks, just the same as South Korea has over their tariff threat that dropped last night, and they're already fast tracking that thing through their parliament. So yeah, it's caught in this wind. What we are seeing though is a bit of a pickup in US yields, and we're seeing that with the dollar weakening. So that tends to point to you know, the old US risk off trade that we like talking about. Yeah, but yields stocks still not showing any big worries, are they?
No, they aren't. They really aren't. And that's interesting to me too. I mean, the S&P filled the gap yesterday, and we're still holding the. I mean, we're literally at all-time highs right now,
Yeah,
which is
looking forward to that.
what's that?
Looking forward to that. I'm still in me Trump longs from his Davos speech.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, like the rally in U.S. equities is really astonishing. Kman, real quick before we shift over to equities here, do you have any thoughts on the Canadian currency?
Not really, but there's some good support there in the 136.45.65 zone, which I'm keeping an eye on. We were talking on the flow show about that serious, or what word did robust discussion surrounding USMCA. Is the market I don't know, does it have a bit of confidence that Canada is going to be able to stand up versus the US? Maybe, but it's just a dollar move really, right? If you look at Euro Canada not moving an awful lot, just to look at one cross, which is actually slightly better bid. So yeah, no firm idea on the Canadian dollar as such. If I would not only look at dollar Canada, but compared to other currencies, it's still a bit weaker than MEX, for instance.
Yeah, it is. You know, and speaking of the dollar mex, for those of you that are not in the Forex Analytics chat room, I actually took my dollar mex long off. I was trying to anticipate a move outside of this channel, but with this dollar move today, I'm like, you know what? I'm leveling it. I picked up a little bit more yesterday, brought my average down, and then I just took the loss because I'm like, if the dollar goes into meltdown territory, it's going to be take no prisoners. I mean, if the euro makes it, you know, much above 120 and really starts to take off, you're gonna see the sterling at 140. You're probably gonna see the Aussie trading at 71 cents, and we do have Australian CPI coming up, by the way, later on tonight, I believe. Well, tomorrow morning in Australia. So a lot of things are happening in the dollar, and if it gets going, it could really get going. I'm going to turn your attention a little bit over to what's happening in earnings this week. So we have Texas Instruments after the close. You can see Pre-market, we had UPS. One of the things, and I believe this is what's pulling down the Dow right now. Let me pull up UPS really quick. And no, it's actually up. UPS is up 3% pre-market. So, earnings decent. I'm trying to think what is driving the Dow this morning. Maybe, it's UNH. It's got to be UNH. It's always UNH.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, down 15. Yeah, UNH is just getting absolutely slammed right now, and that's what's dragging down the Dow. And then keep in mind, we do have, we have Texas Instruments tonight. Tomorrow we're gonna have like Starbucks. There is I don't care about any of these. Maybe GE, but we have like Tesla, Microsoft, Meta after the close, IBM after the close. Really, a lot of big earnings coming up this week, and then we have Apple on Thursday. So keep that in mind. Look at UNH. I mean, this is a nasty looking chart. Just keep in mind, we are actually trading right here pre-market, so we are down, quite a bit. And this actually, believe it or not, UNH looks a lot like the dollar. You think about it. Last year, UNH got killed, dollar got killed. It consolidated for 6 months, and now we're getting killed again. That's kind of what the dollar index is doing as of right now. So really nasty move in UNH. Keep an eye on it. All right, let's go back to precious metals really quick. I am a little concerned about this volatility that we're seeing. Whenever you see big volatility when you're at highs or at lows, sometimes that is an indication that we're near a peak, or in this case a peak or a low, if we're seeing some massive volatility at lows. But right now silver looks really good. I mean, we're in that blow off top territory that we talked about on the week ahead video. Break above this channel resistance. We're now starting the blow off top type of sequence in the market. I don't know how high we can go, whether it's 120 is it, maybe 130 is it, maybe yesterday's highs was it. But this is a very, very explosive move that I am a little fearful that whenever we peak, whenever that day is, whether it was yesterday or whether it's 6 months from now or 3 weeks from now, whatever it is, that is very concerning to me. Gold above 5,000 is extremely strong, but look at palladium and platinum still making a move. Palladium got a bit of a reversal yesterday, so did platinum, but we're still maintaining these gains. It doesn't suggest that we should be fading these, because everybody, I can't tell you how many people I talked to yesterday that are like, I really want to start selling some of these precious metals, like being on the short side. I still think that's a dangerous game. Ryan, do you have any further thoughts on precious metals here?
No, as I said, just we've had precious metals rising yesterday. They were getting extreme levels. Silver was getting very extreme, and the dollar was moving as well. But now today the dollar's moving, and those are staying pretty steady. If you look at sort of a 15-minute chart or something. So just watch these expiries later on, because once we get over that hump and all the option traders have got out anything they've exercised or hedged or whatever, we could be off to the races again.
Okay, so Kman, tell me a little bit about these options expiries that are happening in precious metals today.
They were brought up. They were brought up by somebody else in our chat room. But yeah, they should be expiring if they expire today. Still conditional, but they should be expiring around the New York close today. If we're talking about futures, thank you, Mark, in our room as well. So they don't expire at 10 a.m. New York like the currencies have their expiries. So they can expire until the end of day. So if yet they are big enough, and they drag gold back down to 5,000, silver back down to 100, because that's where the main expiries lie. We could be in for some fun once they're out of sight. Already, I was thinking about yesterday's move. Could they have anything to do with it? That somebody went for an early hedge and sold being long silver calls, gold calls, and selling some of them out. Could have been already yesterday, you know, and that's a move that we need to take into account for the rest of the day, and afterwards maybe all hell could break loose again. Yeah, I'm not going to make a bet on them right here and now. The only thing is that we have to note that after every drop, how big and fast it may be, they are coming back still.
All right, very very good. Hey, one of the things that has been obviously moving is nat gas. I mean, we hit 161% extension of now. I have to back this up a little bit. We were at a 618 retracement just a week and a half ago. We were hitting a rising trend line. We were at a 618 retracement, and then boom, this obviously this winter storm that many of us are dealing with here in the United States just plagued a lot of the U.S. and there's so many people that have power out. My son who's in Mississippi, he's been without power on and off for like the last several days, and I thought this nat gas might have peaked around the 127% extension yesterday, but then we continued to through the 161% extension. Still really strong, pretty nasty storm that we're dealing with. But this is a lot of people call this one the Widowmaker. So if you guys are trading nat gas, I don't think there's any reason to be on the short side unless you get back below this 560 level. That could be a pretty big reversal should we get back below there. It's going to warm up in the U.S. It's going to warm up probably everywhere soon. So just keep an eye on nat gas. I don't know how far this is going to go, but that's a pretty crazy move that we've seen there. Almost as equally crazy as these precious metals moves that we've seen. I do want to let you guys know, Jamie from Reuters, and by the way, I've known Jamie now for about 10 years. He's a very, very well respected reporter for Reuters. We've been talking the last couple of days about having a conversation about the funding bill, the possible government shutdown, yen intervention. We've been discussing over the last couple of days. He just messaged me. His wife had texted him, and he has to hurry to his wife. She's fine, but somebody else on the street might not be. So he is not going to be able to join us today. He just sent me a message a moment ago. Just to let you guys all know, I'm going to schedule him back maybe after we potentially have a shutdown as we head into later this week. Speaking of which, Ryan, do you think we're going to have do you think the U.S. government's going to shut down here? This whole situation over ICE funding, and some of the senators maybe not going to vote for it, but I don't know if there's some funding bills that that might get us over the hump. Any ideas about that?
Well, certainly wouldn't rule it out since we've just had one. I mean, it'd be a bit of a shock and probably a bit of a negative for Trump if we do have another shutdown. But yeah, there's bits and pieces that have passed. Some stuff holding up, like you said, with the ICE stuff. I don't know. I would have thought you'd have better insight than me.
Well, there's supposed to be some stopgap funding bills that have passed, but I'm not 100% sure
Trump
Trump
signed off one, I think over the weekend or whatever. There was supposed to be a vote on some other stuff yesterday, which got delayed till today because of the weather. So I don't think it's one big thing that needs passing like the last time. It's all little bits and pieces. But it's the same old, isn't it? They'll wait till the 11th hour to try and squeeze it all in and get it all done. I'm 50-50 on whether we shut down at the end of this week.
All right. Well, Kman, as we wrap things up, and by the way, we don't have any data coming in until we have consumer confidence coming out in about an hour from right now. We have the Richmond Manufacturing Fed Index that's going to be coming out as well. So actually, that's in an hour and a half. That's the data that we're going to really be paying attention to for today. We don't have anything live that's coming out right now. Kman, what are your thoughts as we go into the North American trading session here? What are you thinking?
What am I thinking is that the Ministry of Finance in Japan is trying to buy time until the elections, and we saw this morning, so over yesterday evening and earlier today, in our time, dollar yen tick up to close to 155, and then all of a sudden we had what we can suspect is another rate check by the Bank of Japan. So they, in my opinion, are going to try and keep a tighter leash on it, but may just be buying time until the election on the 8th of February, which will, in my opinion, then be an ultra high alert time for interventions, because especially if Takaichi would win it, because the market is probably then going to try to sell yen at that time, but then we will need to be extremely vigilant. So any moves up to closer to 155 may now be met with serious sellers in the dollar yen. For the rest of the currencies, well, it looks as if the dollar is still on its slide. Let's say it's we compared to what we have seen in the past weeks, months. It may look as a rapid move, but I wouldn't call this one explosive yet.
All right. Well, Carney said he just had a good conversation with President Trump, and I'm not even sure how that's possible, considering the back and forth that they've had publicly. I guess maybe what's said privately is a little bit different than what is said publicly. Interesting. And this is the Canadian continues to be a little firm here. I was just just looking at this yen, Kman, before we wrap things up with this yen. I mean, the farther the dollar yen falls, or the stronger that the yen gets, I mean, the less risk there is for intervention, right?
That is correct. That is completely correct. But on the other hand, if you're on the daily, put the cloud on there. And it's just a suspicion that I have, but won't they want to have finally, because look at it, from August, September, we never closed under the cloud. And could they want just psychologically to get a close under the cloud to make the Japanese speculators think a bit?
Yeah, and maybe that's the catalyst that maybe takes us down to this 150,
Yeah.
150, which
Just
is this nice like rising trend line.
Just a thought. I'm not long yen because I still think in the bigger scheme of things it's a bit early, but we never can rule out anything, especially as we saw last Friday that the US wants to play ball as well.
Right. All right. Fresh lows, dollar CAD. All right, Ryan. Last minute thoughts before we wrap things up here, and you take your 10-day holiday from the F.A.C.E show.
Oh, you give me a 10-day holiday? I'll take it with two hands. I'll take it with two hands. Yeah, I'll just say, watch the breaks. You know, we've had this break in K, we had this break in euro dollar. It's got to hold these breaks now, and then you're going to kick on. And like I've been talking about, you know, silver and the likes, you've got your first hint of a top, perhaps. So watch the price action from here. If we can't get back to those highs, then you've got something more significant to potentially play with if you're looking to try and sell a top in silver that hasn't worked for the last $50.
And I'm worried about that too, just because I am long euros right now. You know, I took everything off yesterday, reestablished a position today. Again, if you're in the Forex Analytix chat room, you just go to the trades room. You know exactly where I'm long. You know, I am a little worried because if precious metals do peak, my fear, because it happened yesterday, when it looked like precious metals had put their highs in for the day, the dollar started to firm, and that's a little bit of a concern for me if precious metals don't forge new highs here today. But we'll see. Again, dollar CAD at its lows of the session. That Canadian dollar is doing things that I don't think people expected it to do. Look at it's breaking some support here. All right, guys. Well, it has been a great show. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Kman. Ryan, enjoy your 10 weeks off of F.A.C.E. We'll catch you sometime in the summer. And just kidding. We'll see you on Thursday. Enjoy your time away tomorrow. I know you're going to be on the Flow Show. If you guys don't listen to Ryan and Kman on the Flow Show, I didn't get a chance to listen to the show today, but I try to listen every single day, and you guys should too. You can catch their show right on our website. You can click over there and get the link, so you can have discussions with them on Zoom. You can find them on X. You can find it on our YouTube page where we broadcast it live. Ryan, Kman, thank you guys for being here today. Really appreciate you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Good luck. And for those of you in the Forex Analytics community, in 40 minutes, I will see you on the morning edge. And we'll be drafting up the new bias chart as we do every single day. All right, guys and gals, have a great one. And I'll reschedule Jamie from Reuters. I'll bring him on probably next week. So we'll catch you tomorrow. All right. Have